there has been a running theme, both in the US and in Russia, during the Cold War, which is kind of when this, I believe, when Bob was working at S4, and also when like the Rendlesham Forest thing happened and stuff like that. Obviously, Cold War, America and Russia aiming nukes at each other. Oh, will we, won't we? Ooh.
Yeah.
Apparently, there was reports across so many US bases and so many Russian bases that UFOs would essentially appear, fuck with all the equipment, and sometimes even deactivate nuclear warheads, right? Now, this is not just one base. This is so many bases, and this is both the US and Russia. And obviously, they don't really fucking like each other, and yet they have this in common. And so when we were purchasing the things that you see in this room, we were at an emporium, and obviously we had cameras and stuff, and the staff were a little bit inquisitive. And one of them, a gentleman that I got talking to, we dropped him our email and stuff, and if he ever wants to come on, because oh my god, did he know about conspiracies. Holy shit.
He was reading them off.
He's gone to where JFK was shot and shit. Like,
he was there,
he put me to shame, and I've based a fucking career around the shit. And he was saying about Rendlesham Forest, which I have a Rendlesham Forest expert that might be coming on, which is amazing. So Rendlesham Forest, the TLDR, is a forest where a UFO was spotted in the actual woods. It's right next to a US Army base. And it's all on record. The colonel of the time, he's sort of like, not made a career out of it, but he's written a book, and, he does like, press tours and all that sort of shit. And this guy who was at the shop was telling me all about it. And obviously I knew a bit about Rendlesham before, but not this much. And he said to me, which is really interesting, apparently he said this in an interview, I must admit I have tried to find this interview. I couldn't find it, but if we just entertain the idea and take his word for it for a second, this colonel has come out and said he touched the UFO, because it was parked in Rendlesham. In Rendlesham Forest, there's like a statue of it, where apparently it was. He touched this UFO, and apparently it spoke to him, like in his head, which, they do say, the telepathic and shit like that. And the ship said, don't be scared. We are you from the future.
Yep.
And we've come back to stop the Cold War. Now, if you think about all these sightings across these bases, and they've deactivated these nukes, what if we are now on a new timeline where the Cold War didn't erupt, and they've come back from a timeline where it did,
100%,
nuclear holocaust or whatever. I know you could probably argue, well, how we have the technology. Well, shut up, all right? Because we're just pulling a thread here, and that's what's fun about conspiracies and shit. It's that's kind of how I make sense of that. But I just think, basically, he told me that when we were doing this, and then when I was researching this, I was just finding all of these fucking cases of US and Russian bases and nuclear warheads being fucking deactivated and shit. Now, there was a colonel of a base who basically theorized that actually it wasn't that, but it was the aliens showing how superior they were, and like, oh, you've got nukes, that's cute, we can just turn them off. So we are so superior to you, you're fucked. But I really like the whole that it's potentially us from the future. Obviously, spoilers, that's kind of not the plot of, but a similar thing in what's that? What's the
Terminator 2?
Terminator 2, yeah. It's got to be in every episode. Shotgun reload.
Yeah.
No, what's the Matthew McConaughey thing?
Oh, Interstellar.
Interstellar, the
Terminator 3.
the fifth dimension shit. But yeah, so that is just somehow how Bob Lazar links into our furniture, which is amazing. But I just thought that was just like, I know it's a stretch, but at the same time, it is a bit like putting 2 and 2 and getting 4.
That guy was insane. I'd walk away from your conversation about one conspiracy. I'd come back. He's talking about a totally different one.
Yeah.
I've done that about 3 or 4 times.
I was talking to him for like 45 minutes. It was fucking... it was just like, he knows so much. And I was just thinking, please.
The Oracle.
Please come on. Like, because just... Oh, man.